You know, Grimstroke is still there. And in fact, we just saw last game, Grimstroke Tusk combo. He's still there, right? Yeah, he is still there, not banned. So, very powerful one on top of the tag team. You throw that Inkswell up, and it's like good luck at getting away from that supporting cast. So, wouldn't be surprised that it ultimately comes out. Whoa, speaking of the Huskar, I can't say I saw that come. But again, we see another Huskar Terrorblade core combo. Are we missing something in the meta here? I don't know.
And particularly when you've got this Oracle, it's very good hero to have on your team, and I think they like the magic damage aspect of Huskar maybe against the Morphling, but not sold on Huskar as a hero right now. I think over the last few days, it's another hero I've seen a little bit of, but it hasn't been exactly dominating and crushing like it used to be with some of the changes and losing that magic resistance.
Yeah, that was really interesting to read the changes to the hero. Initially, I know there's kind of a give and take in terms of, okay, was this hero like not good now, or was he even better? And it's one of those you had to feel it out. And I think it's just what the changes did. It made the hero more of a consistently decent pick. It kind of took away that absolute cheese factor that Huskar was known to be for the longest time, and it made him kind of like just a core you could rely on. Obviously, when it still comes to the laning matchup, in most cases he is very strong with the burning spears. So he has that going for him. But yeah, a lot more susceptible to Magic Burst, which right now, I suppose Vega Squadron isn't the craziest of yet. That helps. Lena definitely very good at that, so gotta think that's one of the reasons. Yep.
Yeah, I think you see this Huskar coming, you can pick up a hero that's going to match up and lane well against it. I think I saw one of the Swedish players, I think it might have been Limp or Chessie, tweeting about what's been good against Huskar mid, and Lena was one of the common responses to it. So we'll see if that is on the right page, because most likely this Huskar will be going mid. Although last game, we saw TP mid, so teams can of course mix up these lanes as needed.
And it makes sense because, again, the idea that Magic Burst is actually pretty good against Huskar now, on top of she's this very decent ranged hero, even a Dragonlance Hurricane Pike eventually could be possible for her. She's not susceptible, ideally, to the inner fire of Huskar, although with the life break leaping in, obviously that could come into play. But, yeah, no, I can get why Lena's considered pretty good in the matchup and overall against this hero now. But final picks to come. Got the final ban from Vega before their last pick. What they still need a support, right? Unless that's a support Lena.
It could be support Beastmaster. A lot of teams have been running Beastmaster as like a 5-position support, but it's not the greatest. And like you mentioned, Kezu does, of course, like to play this hero. So that's what Kaipi's thinking. They banned Winter Wyvern. Yeah, we'll see if that's going to be true or not.
Yeah, knowing Kezu, again, seems like he's going to be on that Beastmaster, but if there's another offlane that definitely stands out to them, then for sure.
You don't really mind last picking a support when you don't have the actual last pick of the draft, because that 8th and 9th pick of the draft are pretty interchangeable.
Fair.
Often you'll see teams picking the mid instead of the support because they're worried about it being banned out. And AA, all right, here we go. Huskar counters, Oracle counters. I like it.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of responding in this draft, which is always good to see, of course. Adapting, you're not going in with this one idea. Teams are willing to adapt as the draft progresses. But yeah, Ancient Apparition. The new AA feels potentially like a better core option, but at the same time, her support utility was taken away a little bit with the new Chilling Touch. It's a little funky now as a support, I feel like. So, but the Ice Blast still stands, right? That's the thing that really matters. And I suppose Ice Vortex is always going to be useful, too, from this hero.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, it really is just the ultimate. But yeah, Ice Vortex is, still going to be good to amp up all the magic damage they got. They may want to Ethereal Blade build. Even the Lena's magic damage is there. It's just this crazy long-range magic damage burst that they can dish out with the AA picked up.
It's going to be Pexu playing it, so yeah, absolutely a support. There was a game recently where we saw, I can't tell you who it was at the top of my head, but somebody did run a mid-Ancient Apparition recently with that, again, with the new core potential on the hero because of the change, but it didn't do too well. It actually flopped pretty badly, so I can't say I'm not surprised to see it as a support. But
I don't think it makes sense as a mid because you have no wave clear. I think that's kind of a key thing for most mids is that you have some way, to just spam out the lane and then go gank or grab a rune or do something. or be like a good scaling hero, and I don't think AA scales. So as like a mid spellcaster, the fact that there's no wave clear is a big problem.
Take a look at the odds once again, and like I said, I can't say I'm surprised to see those odds definitely favoring Vega Squadron. Whether or not you know the draft, one of the more favored teams out of these initial teams to do pretty well in this event. You head over to es.bet. You can check it out for yourself. Enter a bet if you so like. If you like those odds, in fact. Also, with the insurance for this the WePlay Winter Madness event currently going on, you can take advantage of that there as well. Again, es.bet. So here we are, entering into this game now, Vega Squadron versus KP. And another interesting draft. It's you know, back-to-back games, different teams. In fact, the fact that we have a Terrorblade as well as a Huskar pairing, I still find somewhat unique and interesting in itself. But you mentioned the Oracle, of course, definitely gives that Huskar pick that much more potential to be useful in this time around. But yeah, the Ancient Apparition, there is that, it's kind of a funky interaction, isn't it, with the whole Ice Blast and how it works with the False Promise on top of that. I feel like I've seen False Promise targets even die while it's still active because of the Ice Blast. I don't know. It's just one of those funky things.
As the extent that I understand how it works is that if or it can go both ways. Like Oracle Ultimate lasts a decent length of time, so if you time it so that the Ice Blast wears off and the False Promise expires after it, then you get all of the heal. Whereas if the Ice Blast effect is still on them and your False Promise duration ends, they get 0 heal. So
okay,
it kind of comes down to like the timing of when those spells get used a bit.
Well, they're going to be using that, at least on paper. That's the idea for Vega Squadron as these fights break out. But we'll see if Pexu for the challenge, as 4 heroes were down at the bottom lane for Vega Squadron to start here. But it doesn't look like they're going to run into anyone. Terrorblade is playing very safe as he's hugging that tower. But Vega is setting up for the aggressive trial. And this is something I've noticed too with the post-patch 7.20. The possibilities for aggressive trial lanes especially to come out. In fact, just the previous game, we saw that both teams were doing that. So it seems like this is kind of the shift right now in a lot of these laning strategies.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And we'll see, yeah, we'll see how it pans out here. Right now, both teams, you know, well, at least on the dire side, Vega sending these heroes behind the tier 1 bottom tower to see if they can get any free harass in, force a TP, but nobody's there at the time being. And yeah, just support's playing more aggressively in the off lane rather than securing safe lanes, at least initially.
Okay, well, Ancient Apparition's going to go top as you see Oracle moving to the bottom lane. So just like that, talking about these trial lanes, and all of a sudden we got a 2-1-2 setup.
Yeah, you start with the trial lane to secure bounty runes, and then you figure out to rotate your supports maybe into a dual lane.
Okay, so he's going to get some good pressure right here. He'll be fine in the end, but obviously KP trying to make him use some regen early on, which will do. And some trees right there. Maybe next time, though. Getting close to Oracle, and yeah, Oracle has to respect that tag team especially, which I don't know if he has it yet at level 1, but either way.
TB wants to use Metamorph there regardless, just to secure last hits on the first wave or two. To make a big difference into how your game goes. If you get those fast Wraith Bands up, then suddenly you don't care as much about not having meta. You're pretty much using it off cooldown in the early game laning stage.
Exactly. You see that level 1 picked up constantly and just spamming it right off the bat, because yeah, the sooner you use it, the sooner it'll be off cooldown in that landing stage. So, to your point. It wears off there.
Yeah, now the lane gets a bit tougher, but he's got some help here with the Oracle. There's also see mid lane, Lina versus Huskar, which so far going pretty even between the two.
Yeah, back to the bottom lane. Again, you've got Casey also having to respect the damage that's coming into him. So both sides taking some back and forth harassment. But yeah, without the Metamorphosis now, you'd figure that Vega Squadron gonna be liking the idea of playing a bit more aggressive themselves. Although you are still dealing with an Oracle, who honestly, excuse me, jeez. With those, the Purifying Flames, some decent burst damage that could come out of that. And also Fortune Zen can lock you in place, of course, and make it difficult in the end to ultimately go for a kill. So maybe just focusing on CS instead is the better.
Oh yeah, and TB's crushing the CS, and I think this is why this hero was first to picked against Beastmasters, because Beastmasters' damage is so heavily physical damage. Catch the end of the first blood up top. It's MNT. Killing off Bone 7, I believe he TP'd in here. Since he started up bottom, so he must have TP'd up top.
Yeah, the TP support rotation catches KP off guard. I got a guess there ultimately, and so Bone7 goes down on the Nature's Prophet. He'll TP back in himself and continue his farm, but we see a good first blood for Vega Squadron. But yeah, looking at that middle matchup again, you got a 10-7 Huskar versus a 9-4 Lina. So we look at the replay here. There's that new chilling touch, and yeah, with the TP in Snowball, he really just had no clue Tusk was there, simply put.
So we can see why that happened. It's because Morphling had 3 CS at the time. He is getting crushed in this top lane. He's managed to get up to 5 CS now, but that is a big problem. Last game we saw Morphling free farm. That's how the Morphling beat TB. If you're not out farming him, or at least even with him, you're in trouble.
And yeah, in fact, looking at all of the CS right now, it is favoring KP quite a bit as bottom lane KZU, Fortune's End hits. Okay, there's those Purifying Flames, and it is going to be enough damage in the end. I didn't think it was going to be enough, but you know what? The Metaform just beating him down in the meantime, and absolutely
I didn't think it was going to be enough either. I thought they were going to need another
top lane.
Is under attack.
TB managed.
Yeah, managed to get the last auto attack. I don't know if that was an uphill or not. It seemed like it was too, so a little bit of RNG coming into play in his favor too, but he'll take it, and they get their first hero kill of the game. But yeah, as I just mentioned before that, we're talking about, I mean, the CS impressive right now for KP. So you look at those odds, and a little juicier now, perhaps, to go towards KP with if you go to es.bet once again, place your bets there. But KP feeling pretty good as far as the start goes.
Yeah, they're CS-wise doing just fine. But we'll see. This is still very early days, and it's a sub 1K gold lead. We're not seeing any kind of crazy advantage either way just yet. As Vega get another kill up top, so it's Madara striking once more. His Morphling, despite the rough start to the CSing, this is just, Nature's Prophet dominates the first, 5 minutes of the game with the Treants. It's so hard to last hit against Nature's Prophet, but it is a hero that is a bit exposed to those ganks, and that's what Vega's taking advantage of.
Specifically, the slowing in the eye shards really of Tusk. He doesn't have that, jump over. He doesn't have that escape tool like some other offlaners, where he's not that bulky offlaner. So no doubt Vega is capitalizing on that, as they do have a couple of kills to work with. And KZU's trying to get another kill, but Flash able to run away in time. Yeah,
2 bounty runes apiece. Flash was trying to get cheeky and try and steal a third there, but he didn't quite manage it. Venge's, nearby here. I think he just wants to get a ward down, but he also doesn't want to get spotted doing so. He's going to get spotted now, though, by that freshly planted ward.
Yeah, they'll ping it out, so they know he's in the area. Maybe going to keep an eye on that observer ward on him and see if he lays that down. But right now, he's trying to set up a gank mid, which isn't going to happen, of course, because, again, they have that information. Top lane, though, oh no, Pexi just going to place a ward himself and think about making a play. But for now, Nature's Prophet's a little too defensive himself, and essentially hugging that tower, so he'll be fine, too.
Man, look at this quad branch build from Charlie. He's like, I'm running out of branch space. What do I do with them? I thought he was going to start tangoing them, but he's send them back to base to sell.
There you go. That's efficiency right there. That's finest. Always appreciate those small plays that definitely add up.
Wait, every carry player sells their branches or eats them, but you're not going to just leave them on the ground.
Yeah. Mage, he's dead, by the way. That was a good rotation. Luff taking advantage of that haste rune that he picked up, and an easy magic missile in the face of Lina. Really no chance to survive there. Obviously the life break also coming out from Huskar, so great gank setup from KP.
Nice little move, and that's going to get them a kill on a pretty key hero on the dire side. GoDz got 1,000 gold here. I don't like that he's just saving up gold. I think early game gold is so important to use, like whether you're getting stat items, whether you're upgrading your boots. You generally just want to spend it on something to give you a better early game edge. That's Mastermind. He's triple bracer, TB, triple Wraith Man. Sitting on 1K gold is very unconventional.
Maybe next time could be falling to Charlie. Nope, he's going to pop the stick, and in fact, KZU will make sure Charlie does not pursue. Keeps it back right there. But yeah, going back to that point, it feels like something again, early, we saw the Vlad's last game from our Nature's Prophet. Just in that previous game, different team, sure. But yeah, getting that early item, Vlad's drums, you could say, of course, could potentially be a strong one. So keep an eye and see what he does build.
Yeah, I imagine he's just unsure what he wants to go, so he's saving the money. But, if you want to get Vlad's, buy the head druid. If you want to get, some other later game item, just buy some null talismans or your upgraded boots. But like you say, we'll see where he goes. It's fine for now. He's not having a terrible time. He's died a few times to ganks that probably would have worked regardless of what items he had.
Yeah, Huskar again as CS, very impressive. The triple bracer mentioned. Gonna finish power treads here, and we'll move on to. You'd think the armlet, but honestly, with the start that he's having, he may pass it up. I mean, well, that's an item you'd figure with the tempo. You would want that if you're having a good start.
Yeah, I think we'll see it regardless with the way the new passive works based on your strength. I think armlet, BKB halberd, the build we saw last game is probably going to be a pretty standard Husker build.
Yeah. Oracle, Fate's Edict, not going to do a whole lot right here for him. And
Madara steals the Nature's Prophet TP.
Yeah, I was like, wait, how did he get here all of a sudden? That's a good call. Exactly, morph it into the Nature's Prophet, and that's definitely a hero he will take advantage of.
I saw the TP come, I was like, okay, here's a fight. Nature's in. This is going to get good. And then I'm like, wait a second. It's just another hero for the gank.
Yeah.
It's Morphling.
And then he TP scrolls back to the top lane and continues his farm, so very smart use of his ability there. And in fact, you look at the CS now too. You mentioned early game, he was struggling, but the rotations came in, opened up a lot of space, and before you know it, he's getting close to catching up to the Terrorblade even. He's on top right now, so obviously very good news for Vega Squadron.
Yeah, this last few minutes has gone a lot better for them, and they are favorites coming to this one. That's why those odds were showing them even in the early game behind on CS. They still felt Vega's doing just fine, because they understand how to make these rotations to claw them their way back in. They're losing top tower, but they're taking bottom. They're finding kills on mid. They're just doing a good job all around the map.
There you go. Tier 2 goes, or Tier 1, excuse me, goes down at the top lane. So easy push there. Speaking of Vlad's, KheZu picks one up on the Beastmaster. Take advantage of that maxed out. Oh, never mind. He maxed out Call the Wild first, level 2 inner beast right here. But even level 2, it's still providing plenty for the push.
I think this is probably the most common Beastmaster build now. A few Beastmasters still get the Wild Axes. Some will go for the Aura, but I think most want to max the Call the Wild first.
Yeah.
The changes.
Yeah, a lot of the builds I've been seeing on these Beastmasters, they just pass up Wild Axes altogether. It almost feels like that's somewhat of a dead ability for this hero.
Yeah. I did see one Beastmaster earlier today do it in the Chinese DPL, but it didn't look all that strong or scary.
Yeah.
Okay, stacks being farmed. I think this is where Vega can actually, make some plays and got Metamorph on cooldown, so you don't have to worry about TB getting involved. Perhaps you're worried about them split pushing, but definitely there is some potential for them to make some plays here.
Speaking of that bottom lane, maybe next time is setting up on Tusk. He also has Morphling in the area. Madara is just simply going to run into the creep wave and pick up some CS, so Flash will hide nearby. No false promise from him yet, though. He is maxing out the Purifying Flames. So again, some decent bursts, especially if they can catch Madara in that agility shift. But without support, no way anything's going to happen anyways. It'll just soak up some experience.
Yeah, Vega's main thing is leaving the AA up top to get level 6. That Ice Blast is going to be the perhaps next big key timing for them. They're happy to kind of give up top lane to the AA. If he dies up there, it doesn't really matter too much. And they're going to focus on farming both mid and bottom. In fact, taking mid tier 1 tower.
Madara's going in. He's going to transform into Oracle, going for that kill. Tusk hits the snowball, the Walrus Punch, and they do successfully get the kill. As you were mentioning, though, the tier 2 top does go down in the meantime, and somebody else is dying. It's kind of hard to pick up on exactly what's going on right there, but I think, was that, okay, that was actually Ancient Apparition getting picked up as well, but now left at the bottom lane, the Eventual Spirit comes in, he goes down too. Bone 7 TP's in with Mastermind. Mage in trouble. Getting invis currently, he'll be fine. Flash puts the Sentry Ward down, not enough to catch him though, as he's too far away. Maybe next time he goes down on Tusk in the meantime. So I believe that was a Shadow Blade on Lena being shown off there.
Yeah, might be just an invis rune. She's a bit poor. Shadow Blade.
Okay, that makes more sense actually. Yeah.
It was probably a bottled up rune
to get away. And she's gonna try to use it.
Yeah, Ice Blast not up yet. I don't know. There's enough damage. We're gonna find out.
Laguna Blade and absolutely is enough.
TB was like halfway through turning around, but actually hasn't leveled up Sunder, it looks like. He doesn't have the green dot up top, so wouldn't have been able to survive regardless. And yeah, Mage gets a nice little kill there.
Great use of that Invis Rune. It's 100% it was an Invis Rune, as you see there, of course. And in fact, it is going to go Yule's as his first item. in the end, but with the duration of that Invis rune to get away from the bottom fight, making great use of it to set up the kill on Terrorblade. And she's also stepped up a bit herself now, too, because, again, Lena, we mentioned the CS in general across the board was looking very good for KP early on, and thus the early net worth. But as we've transitioned out to the laning phase now, ganks have been happening, and no doubt favoring Vega. And, yeah, they're doing a Roshan. It is dark right now for KP. This should be a free Roshan.
Yeah. Vlad's Beastmaster Aura, they kill this quick, and they'll quite happily take it and move on to the next objective.
It's Medallion pickup for Beastmaster as well. But Medallion we see plenty. Solar Crest is another item that it's kind of like hit or miss for some people. I feel like the build-up, it's quite a bit of build-up, so getting it on support can be difficult. Do you think Solar Crest is actually a good item right now, or?
I think it still seems decent. The changes are, I think, situationally better than there's some situations. But the build-up for supports is definitely not the nicest now.
Are they doing the stack here? They're going to stack it one more time, or at least try to. That's quite the massive stack. Is he even able to get this? No, he's not. Yeah, that was a pretty ambitious stack chance right there. Might as well go for it, though, but Terrorblade pops the meta. And let him pick up some good farm off of it. So take a little bit, but eventually plenty of net worth going the way of Charlie. Terrorblade. While they're doing this, though, bottom lane is being pushed in by a couple heroes from Vega Squadron. So some good objectives being done by Vega in the meantime. Should be able to get that pretty easily at this rate. And Morphling has overtaken top farm in the game. It really is something how this hero was just getting nothing for the first 3 or 4 minutes, and 10 minutes later is all of a sudden top net worth.
Yeah, he caught up pretty fast. He's no longer struggling whatsoever. He's taking the tier 2 tower bottom. He's just being enabled so much by his team, and I mean, also just, played it well. He had a tough lane. You're going to lose the first like 5 to 10 creep waves against the Nature's Prophet, who is trees.
Yeah.
Once they realized that they had to rotate a Tusken, they managed to kind of salvage things and set the Morphling up for success.
Smoke play from Vega. They could catch Huskar here as the bounty runes come out, 15-minute mark, but look at KP. They're going to keep on running. Mastermind correctly going north, and that is going to keep him alive. Yeah, if he ran south there, he is dead.
They're just a little bit late for that smoke. It's a pretty common play to make these smokes around bounty runes, but you have to be ready and prepared for it. By the time they got there, they were already 5 seconds too late to contest the bounty rune, to find a kill. So I think Vega just weren't quite in position for it.
The Yules just finished on Lena. I believe we saw right there, so no doubt going to be a great utility tool this game for her to take advantage of. But speaking of taking advantage of things, Casey's Aura most certainly taking advantage of that with Mage nearby and beating down this tier 2 mid tower for the easy kill. The top tower also being pushed in, and Radiant Team KP almost thinking like they were going to pressure tier 3 at that point, but they decide to respond at that mid lane themselves, and instead they'll keep away from one another and continue to play the farm game. You have to think that that does favor KP a little bit, especially again with the Terrorblade factor, as we always go back to. So Vega Squadron, you would expect them to kind of turn it up, and in fact they catch Nature's Prophet in the jungle.
Yeah. It's a core hero, I guess. It is a so it's still a nice kill for them. But yeah, KP's they're playing with a TB going to the late game. They're also playing against the Sages, so they're just feeling like they want to play the farm split push game, so they're not too worried about the pace of things right now. But at the same time, it's not going to be like this amazing TB insta-win game, even if they get late game. Right now, it does feel like they are in for a bit of an uphill battle.
Morphling. Okay, so it is the shotgun build. Yeah, it's hard to keep progress on the item build of Madara right there, but sure enough, it is going to be the shotgun build. Ethereal Blade, in fact, finished already on Madara, so taking full advantage of this farm that's really picked up for him, and especially now with that finish, the Aegis on top of that, no doubt Vega is looking to find these picks, and they're exactly doing just that. Ward goes down. Mastermind, he's jumping into a death trap, though he has no idea. Out comes the Ice Blast. There's a false promise, though, and so maybe it's a turn now for the Radiant team. So far, looking pretty good. Lena, Yule's up. That's just going to delay the inevitable. Morphling goes in the big person on Terrorblade, but at what cost now? Madara's in a bad spot because of this, and he cannot get away. Remember, he has the Aegis, but in this horrible spot. Will that even matter? He's shifting, man. He's shifting to that strength, but it's not going to be enough. The supporting cast is not really here. This very likely could be another death on Madara. Waveform initially over here. Taz going to cut off Flash at least. And now KZ also shows up. So the supporting cast is now here for Vega. And now they're turning once again. Bone7 the burst. Oh, the double swap coming into play. I don't really know. That just looked fancy. If that really had a lot of practicality, though. Either way, Vengeful goes down. And you know what? They lose lane out, but Vega indeed is very happy with that exchange, even despite losing the Aegis.
Yeah, they just kind of had to, bait long enough with the Morphling Aegis. That Aegis was about to expire anyway, so the fact they found some value out of it, finding 4 kills, including a buyback on Oracle, is pretty huge for them. And they'll be very, very happy there. I think KP just got a little bit too greedy trying to kill the Morphling twice, in fact. I mean, for one thing, I think you can ignore him because he's got the Aegis, but if, once they start going for him and think they can kill him twice, that's where things went horribly wrong.
Oh, Madara. See overstepping again right here. Nice smoke trying to get a little bit faster. The drums pop. They indeed are chasing. Charlie, though, he's kind of cut off a little bit as the ice shards block off his supports, but doesn't really matter. Fortune's End hits Keizu. But again, just too deep, not worth going that far for KP. And they will back off in the end. So initially going for it, but not worth it. No retreat there. How about that item pickup, by the way? Beastmaster getting a 4-staff to go with the Vlad's medallion early on.
It's always nice to have a 4-staff on your team. Helps get out of the Sprout. And can just help bail out your teammates a little bit this game. So we'll kind of see how that works here. I do like it. I think it's just a nice item in general. And we see Bone7 building one himself, so he agrees. He's on the 4-staff hype train. But it is, generally most drafts you want to have at least one 4-staff just for the safe aspect.
Yeah, good item to have, no doubt. And as you mentioned, both teams will be picking one up for either side. But you look at the buybacks there. The only one that did buyback was the Oracle in that case in that last fight, which ultimately didn't really matter for KP. The Ice Blast coming bottom.
Don't think it's really setting anything up.
No. Well, hit Bone7.
Yeah. I think it scouted those 2 heroes as it flew over, so it actually managed to get some good scouting in, coincidentally.
Yeah, you'll see it used to kind of push out other lanes too, obviously, on the other side of the map. Part of it, I think, as well with that Ice Blast there. Not the longest cooldown, so it can certainly do that.
Well, how things have changed. Vega's managed to now take over top lane, which they're getting some additional tap of their own. Morphling's continuing to farm. And this does feel like it's going to be not the easiest next couple of fights. Morphling's got his new talent, so he's got this level 15 morph duration, which is really good for the TB, just constant reflection spam, being able to just have it even longer.
And this Morphling, I was going to say, he's just sitting right here as if he's going to flank, and sure enough, he gets a kill and then he runs away. I love the way Madara's playing this Morphling right now.
He's still sticking around a little bit. He's nearby. TP's to a shrine. They want to defend this one.
They do, TPing in, so here we go. The false promise comes out on the Huskar. He needed it, so he's going to be very deep here. Promaror even on top of him. You see Vega trying to retreat. They feel like they have the kill. No, the heals are enough. Mastermind will survive, and now maybe next time. He goes down on Tuz. Madara comes in, pops a reflection himself as he morphed into Terrorblade. Again, trying to deter them, but Mastermind still wants more. Goes in, the inner fire, but did he go too deep? I believe so. The Ice Blast comes out in response, and yeah, that was a ballsy Huskar right there, especially with False Promise well on cooldown. There was really no chance of him getting out of it. Now Mage is going for not the most mana to work with currently. He already used his Laguna Blade, but he's trying to at least set up an LSA on a Bone7. Not even need it. Yes, he disconnected right there. And the Dragon Slave to finish the job. Swap, Charlie gets out, but now Luft, he's in no man's land. That's what happens though to Vengeful Spirit. He gets caught, and they also lose Flash on top of that. So again, Vega Squadron absolutely demolishing this fight in the long run, despite the early false promise there.
They're just so strong with this Morphling right now, and even Beastmaster. Kezu's just really beefy, scary frontliner who buffs everyone up with his auras. Lena's, sitting around, has kind of fully come in line with Treads, You'll Shadow Blade, all the core items that you need. And yeah, things look good. And that was with, I think Morphling Ethereal Bladed the Venge Illusion at the start of the fight, so they didn't even get the perfect burst damage at the start of the fight to find those kills. But it still turned out pretty good for them.
Yeah, you look at those odds right now. Definitely favoring Vega Squadron a bit more. Again, ES.bet. You can put in your bets yourself if you like. We get the WePlay Winter Madness insurance currently going on top of that you can take advantage of. But yeah, not surprised to see the odds looking that good for Vega Squadron currently. As already the favorite team, but now with this start, feeling pretty good about their chances here. But again, as I always go back to the Terrorblade factor, you have an Oracle support as well as that big save, both the Huskar and the Terrorblade. So you never can be 100% sure it's over unless that Ancient is dead. But
yeah, it's looking a bit rough. Charlie's TB has died 3 times this game, whereas Morphling 0 deaths and is 7-0 and 8. So it's gonna be tough to bring this one back.
Get the nice cinematic view. In the meantime, though, while we're in this pause.
Yeah, it's really very immersive. You know, I never felt quite what it might be like to be a Dota hero playing on the map, and you know, this is what they see.
Could you imagine playing Dota from that perspective? I know there's other, obviously, MOBAs out there that have done that, of course, but Dota itself, from that perspective, that ground level, that feels like it would be interesting. I don't know. I'd be curious to try it.
Some of the, I know some streamers have. I think Sing Sing did that, play in the showcase mode or whatever it is. It was pretty funny and also pretty laughably bad at times.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing. If he's doing it against other people that aren't, then yeah, that feels like a very dangerous decision.
I mean, he's doing it in unranked games. I think he was playing like a sniper, but just getting last hits is like impossible. You can't see creep healths or anything. Like, it's just, you can't play Dota in showcase mode, but it makes good content. So
it does. It does. All right, Terrorblade. He got his Manta finish. He has 3,300 gold saved up, so clearly he is trying to get that BKB next, of course, but which I suppose he will have it soon, having 3,300. No. Look at this Morphlin, though, man. He's a freaking hunter. He's going to hunt the Nature's Prophet and find a free kill. Madara just loves to play like this.
Texu's like, hey, can I help? Ice Blast, do you need that?
Yeah. Yeah, 5 seconds late. No
big
deal. Already dead. Are they doing Roshan? It looks like it.
Yeah, Morphling TP's over. It's kind of crazy. This AA pick hasn't really mattered. It's not been a bad pick by any means. Like, Morphling's had such a good game in the whatever. Ice Blast hasn't proven to be a necessary ingredient. But that's also why I don't think Kaipi can come back, is because there is an Ice Blast. So much of their ability to win teamfights is Huskar's health regen, or, you know, the Oracle with the false promise in his heals. So they've got a counter for one of the biggest ways Kaipi can get back into this game.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'll get to that more in just a second here, but they catch Flash and easy kill on Oracle. Going back to the draft, yeah, you usually never really like to see a support final pick set up because it just feels awkward. It feels like it's not going to have the most impact compared to those cores. To that mid hero to take over, but this is a game where it absolutely worked out. That was a final pick, Ancient Apparition support. We knew that they were going to pick a support very likely going into it, and it set up very well. As you've already mentioned, it's clear that Ice Blast is doing wonders this game and hurting the chances of heroes specifically like Huskar of having that high impact. So yeah, great draft all around from Vega, no doubt, and that's at least part of the reason why they have a 9,000 net worth lead now at 24 minutes into the game.
Kind of just ruins Huskar as a hero. And if, you know, in the past, if AA was a slightly better hero, you would have seen it every single time there was a game. It's just always, it's been one of the worst supports in Dota for a while. Perhaps with some of these, you know, recent tweaks and changes, buffs, I guess we should call them, the hero's in a better place to counter some of these heroes like Huskar and these other very heal-based drafts.
Yeah. You got pressure in the Tier 3 tower from Vega Squadron, but not going to go all the way. Just kind of pushing other lanes. There is no Tier 2 towers even remaining at this point, but instead they'll kind of retreat, clear out the map, take advantage of the creeps that are up, and let the lanes continue to push in. Hope for somebody to overextend, I think is a big thing.
Bounty runes were coming up too, so I think that's a big enough objective in themselves. It's a big chunk of gold when you can get 4 bounty runes that it's worth doing. Oh, Radiant Smoke. That's an interesting one. Into an Aegis. They see AA bottom, but AA can throw Ice Blast from anywhere, so...
Yeah.
This seems like a bit of a Hail Mary play.
Yeah, when you are down this much early on, I suppose you can expect these kind of plays, but it's the Hail Mary is going to be way off the mark because Vega Squadron not going to give them even a chance.
I think this is so obvious, too. Like, why is Huskar showing mid, pushing past the river?
Oh, Bones. Oh, no. Having to use False Promise on Bone 7. That's not ideal. KZU may die for this, but so far, Vega's feeling pretty good still. The kill Oracle. There's meta form. Pop by Charlie, though, with the BKB and Madara. He gets disarmed on top of that, so he has to run away. Goes into Terror Blade himself. Now back to the Morphling form. Tree Sprout up on Lena, by the way. She's in a bad spot. No, she's seen. She's going to be fine. Luft. He swaps in, only to his death, though. Charlie, they get the kill on Lena, but Charlie, the double force staff, he's just pushing around. Can't even play his own hero. He goes down himself. They lose Nature's Prophet as well. Triple kill for Pixu on the Ancient Apparition even, but again, and no doubt a 1-5 for Vega.
Yeah. Hey, it ended up better than I thought it would. They managed to get at least a couple kills somewhere out of that, but they still have no solutions to this Morphling, and TB just getting controlled so well that he couldn't get his Sunder off. Madara's played so well. He morphs strengths, he gets that extra long stun on the TB when they want to try and burst him down so he can't use the Sunder, and it looks really good for Vega. This probably should be a lane of racks or buybacks here. They just push so fast with these auras.
Mastermind says, I gotta try something. Just leaps in. Madara, well, he morphs into Mastermind there on the Huskar, and he's gonna try to use that now to, it's a nice disarm even on Huskar himself. And he kills Flash in the process. So those Burning Spears from Morphling even adding up. He's going to go back into Huskar, battling with Terror Blade. There's a lot of illusions, though. Madara is getting low. Back into his main form, though. Gets the heal on up. Mastermind pops the BKB for this. They might kill Madara, but remember, he has an Aegis. And by might, I mean, maybe still not, because Madara even gets the burst, and he's going to stay alive for the time being. Are you kidding me? He is just balling right now on KP. He finally goes down, but Charlie perhaps overextended for this. Although the BKB will allow him to run away, but Madara still wants it. It's not enough burst, but they kill Luft anyways. And Vega's still just going to push as a team.
Well, there were some, you know, in the peak of the Ad Finum days with Madara, quality Madara. This guy, he's just unkillable, and he's showing it here. He's having a field day, and really, I think, pushing Morphling as a hero to the limit here. Some of these plays he's making in these fights with these replicate steals is just really impressive.
Yeah, you can just tell when a player is comfortable on this hero, and that's why I go back. I know it's been a while now, but I love the rework to this hero with the whole morph, and it allows for such a high ceiling cap for players that are comfortable on the hero and impressive plays. You can just tell that he is very comfortable on it, having fun with it, very fluid with the constantly morphing in and out of different heroes even throughout the game. So it's not over just yet. Vega's still pushing in the bottom lane. As the snowball does save KZU initially, but the dust comes out, and even with the Prime Aurora, I think that is the end for him at least. So still plenty of damage done by Vega. It's a dieback on Beastmaster, so he's going to be out for 95 seconds or so. They got plenty out of it, though.
Yeah, I think it's probably about enough to secure the game right now. I don't really see a comeback out of this one, but, you know, it's definitely not 100% possible. It's like that small 1% chance or whatever that Dota Plus is probably giving them right about now.
Yeah, I think the odds aren't high for KP at this point, especially with how things are looking right now. But you also look at you know, the build of Huskar getting that Heaven's Halberd earlier on after the armlet, and it's a strong item on him. But as far as the offensive pressure, maybe he did need that BKB sooner than later. For this game to work out in the favor of KP, but that's just talking in hindsight at this point and the what ifs. I think Vega just as a team has played it very, very well themselves, very fluid.
Yeah, I don't think any one item pickup or decision totally changed it. I think it was much more like bigger picture stuff with the way Vega outplayed them, rotated and moved a lot better. Kaipi had decent lanes. They were CSing well, but they just kind of got outmaneuvered in a lot of the stage of this game. And then the hero lineup, I think, you look at their three cores, Nature's Prophet, Huskar, TB, they're all kind of single target, right-clicking heroes. They don't have a good playmaker, whereas Vega have Beastmaster Raw, they've got Lina with Yule Shadowblade. They just had way more plays they could make, and that made this game very hard for Kaipi.
Well, another desperate move from Kaipi. Again, Beastmaster's out for 50 seconds, so he is a big part of the initiation, and going to give a little bit of hope for KP right here to just push down middle. See what they can get out of it, at least going for the tier 2. You have Morphling, though. He's wandering around in the backlands. You can see just to the right. Yeah, you look at the win probability. Speaking of that, 2% chance. We were wrong, GoDz. It's 2%.
It looked like it moved up, and it was at 100%.
Yeah.
Dota Plus is readjusting.
Odd how that happens. Madara finds a free kill on Vengeful. He morphs in. He's got his own BKB, of course. morphing into that Terror Blade, and
He hurts.
he does. Mastermind, oh, false promise at the last second, so he's going to stay alive. Might as well combat now. Double kill already for Madara. Madara is going to glow, though. Back into Terror Blade. He's shifting around. He's going to push back with the Adaptive Strike, and meanwhile, his teammates are just killing everyone else anyways, as Charlie does go down in the process. Mastermind, life break in. He's going to fall. It just goes back to Madara is just on fire this game with that Morphling.
Mastermind will bring one with him. He says, I did it, guys. I killed one. 1v4, 1v5, really. It's, you know, a small consolation prize as things are pretty much over at this point.
Yeah.
And Morphling back to full health because, you know, shrines and backpacks work this way.
Yeah, 560 max health. We'll do that pretty quickly.
Yeah. And that's one of the absurd things about Morphling, and as long as you know that the morph attributes is there, you can't really stop this from happening, so.
Yeah. It looks like Vega may go for that final blow at this point. Huskar still out for 30. They don't have Tusk, but he is up in 5 seconds. We'll be able to join the team. Beastmaster also just getting a gem on top of that for this potential final push. Although Madara unable to make anything happen on Nature's Prophet there, but again, morphed into Terror Blade, pushing the spawn in tier 3. Mortification is stalling it a little bit.
Yeah. Let's go Metamorph if and when he wants to use it too.
Holding on to it for now, because why would he? Only a fight breaking out at this point. They're going to keep it slow somewhat. Vega Squadron, they know they're in total control. No point to force the issue. Last thing you want to do is obviously dive at KP and give them any chance.
Yeah. It's like they're going to wait till they have a better initiation. Trying to bait spells even.
Yeah, trying to kind of make them react, overreact, but not the case.
Yeah, force a BKB or something, some kind of panic play to happen.
Yeah, true. Oracle was nearby, so false promise comes out there, and all of a sudden reset, and they could go back in, but they might get it right here. And no Feats Edict thrown out for now. So Mastermind, of course, the downside of that, he is disarmed in the meantime.
Yeah, he's trying to bait, and Vega know it. They're not taking the bait.
Yeah, they're playing it very well. I go back to that. They clearly look like a team that's in this event specifically to progress and do very well. And
they got the false promise out now.
We finally see it come out, and there's the reset. Vega's like, why are we going to fight into it? Let's just play it safe.
I mean, both teams were baiting there. Like, the Kaipi's trying to bait them to go on Husker and 5 rank out.
Well, there was a hero there. Nature's Prophet, he buys back immediately at least, but Madara pops the BKB going toe-to-toe with Charlie. Charlie's not going to win that battle for now. He gets the Thunder off on the maybe next time at the last second, but he's still dying in the meantime. They want the kill. Madara's going deep. They aren't going to get it in the end, but he's all the way back to the fountain. Huskar goes down. He buys back right away himself. Nature's Prophet is staying dead, though. It is just a scatter of a fight right now, and Vega Squadron, not surprisingly, is dominating it at this point.
Yeah. Mega Creeps should be GG. The teams are just, you know, too busy in the middle of a team fight to call it right.
To realize what's actually going on here.
Like, oh wait, there's Mega Creeps. No, but I gotta keep chasing for one last hurrah.
Gotta pad those stats. This is what I call that overtime phase at this point. Just padding stats as much as possible. Mastermind.
Madara sure is.
Yeah, exactly. Madara's the one that's taking advantage of it. There's the GGs. All right, so Vega Squadron, maybe the expected result, but they played very well, and right now a team that's going to be scary advancing on here in Group B and the group stages next couple of days.
Yeah, I talked about the two teams in the previous game being maybe two of the favorites to potentially contest the playoffs, but Vega, of course, you got to put there as well. They've had some good periods. They beat Liquid earlier on in this year during the first qualifiers for the first major. You know, I feel like Group B is a lot more stacked than Group A. Like, there's some promising teams in Group A with some of the new Empire rosters, but the two teams we just saw and Vega Squadron, potentially like the 3 best teams in the group stage.
All right, so another match in the books. We got Vega taking out KP, and so now they start 1-0, and obviously KP the opposite at 0-1. We are going to get the chance to watch KP once again in our following match now, as they're going to be matched up against No Pango. So No Pango, of course, coming off their result earlier of what was they won earlier, right? Yeah. No, they lost earlier. Team Spirit won. That's right. So both teams going to be 0-1 going into that, and obviously could be pretty decisive in terms of ultimately 4 to the 5 teams do advance on, but one team being eliminated. Don't want to start 0-2. goes without saying here. So should be another fun one. The WePlay Winter Madness continues, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned. Once again, I was BreakyCPK, joined by GoDz. We got our next game, Kaipi versus No Pango. Will be coming up shortly.